Make no sacrifice with a machine that's thinner,
All right, let me make sure I've unmuted the microphone this time. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to tonight's Chair League match between NewbFail'Em and East Coast Feeders. Hope to get underway here shortly. Just waiting on NewbFail'Em to pile into the lobby. Very, very clever pun on New Salem. Get it? New Salem, NewbFail'Em. Anyway. So tonight's match is going to be on Sky Temple. So, looking forward to that. These are placement matches between two teams, so an awful lot of matches for Chair League this season do seem to be placement matches. I think a lot of that is due to just Chair League growing. Not a lot of people knew about it in the beginning of Season 1, and as it kind of gained popularity, more and more teams wanted to be part of it. And therefore, they have to go through placement matches to figure out which division they're going to be in. So, but still, just waiting on a fifth one for NewbFail'Em. Now, as I was kind of looking a little bit through the profiles, it does seem like these are two very good teams. Yeah, these are all very highly ranked players, so looking forward to some high-level play tonight as I sip from my Yoda coffee mug. So we had storms last night. They were not pleasant. Tons of lightning, tons of thunder. Kept me up all through the night. Could not get a good night's sleep. Plus, I had to be up to do taxes anyway, so that was not a lot of fun. But anyway, as a result, I need some coffee to keep me going, not just through this match, but have another one in a couple hours, so want to be at least somewhat alert for that as well. I've been told the 5th is trying to log on, so should be ready to go here pretty soon. I'm going to double check just until I really just solidified it in my brain. I'm just going to make sure that I haven't accidentally muted this. So, just a little backstory on that, why I'm so paranoid about it. I finally got to cast a pro game for Chair League last week. It was the very last match of the week. Very last pro match of the week. I think it was the very just last match overall, but it was a big rematch between Snipe Squad and Shadow Brotherhood, who were the two teams that faced off in the finals last season. And for about the first few minutes or so, I had my mic muted. So here I had done all this research for both teams. I'm going into my whole intro about teams, my whole pre-game analysis, my thorough breakdown of both teams, and nobody can hear anything. So, and, of course, that was with Super Jova, the big boss, watching and everything, so major facepalm moment for me. But trying to work that into my mental checklist to make sure, hey, make sure your mic's not muted. Alright, this guy's still having some trouble logging in. I guess he's having trouble logging on to Battle.net. So I'm letting know, gonna give him about 5 more minutes. They can find a sub. But this team, NewbFail'Em, they just seem to be very good, so it would definitely be unfortunate if they had to forfeit. Really don't want that to happen, but Unfortunately, sometimes weird things happen. Hey, speaking of which, that reminds me of what I wanted to talk about. So the DreamHack qualifiers happened over the weekend. I think there were 3 separate tournaments, and I think it was like the winners, the top 2 finishers of the first one and the first one and second one. So 4 from the first 2, and then the top 4 from the last tournament. All qualified. Something weird like that. I don't know exactly how it worked, but there was a match gosh, I remember exactly which teams were playing, but it was Gust or Bust and someone else, but anyway, someone disconnected. Someone who was playing Greymane, they disconnected like at the end of the match, and they paused it waiting for him. And they were gonna give him like 5 minutes, but after 5 minutes, they still gave him some more time. Still couldn't connect back, so they resumed the game. The other team has a Punisher. Okay, the team who has the disconnected guy, they're winning. But as a result of him disconnecting, the other team is on Infernal Shrines. The other team gets the Punisher. They start pushing down the keep, and the other team who had the guy disconnect, they're just like, you know what? Our only chance of winning is to just push core right now. So they basically push core with a 4 and an AI. And they already had the keep down, so like they had like a massive advantage. They had a giant head start on the other team, but unfortunately, the AI Greymane, instead of focusing the core, he decided to go focus minions, and as a result of that, they lost the base race by about 5%. It was just an absolutely heartbreaking thing. But unfortunately, I mean, sometimes the ISP is the MVP. So. Yeah, over the weekend, I also really felt bad for Gillyweed and Zoya. I guess they were not only casting the DreamHack qualifier matches, but they were also casting some of the China Gold League matches, which started at I think 3 a.m. their time, something insane like that. So I mean, not only were they waking up at 3 a.m. or before 3 a.m. to cast those matches, but they also had a full day of DreamHack qualifier matches to cast. So that's certainly to start the draft, which I might be open to. I know they're trying to kind of stall, but that might not be such a bad thing. If we can get the draft going and... Is it Battle.net or Battle.net? I'm not sure. But the guys who are missing the player, they're wanting to start the draft, which I might be open to. I know they're trying to kind of stall, but that might not be such a bad thing. If we can get the draft going and complete it, and he still hasn't showed up, then I suppose we could just... the worst that happens is we've just done a draft and wasted some additional time. So, I don't know, I might be open to that. Again, I do think it would be a shame if we had to have a forfeit, but at the same time, pro tip: have more than 5 players on your team in case someone has some kind of technical issue. So I think we are going to go ahead and do a draft. I'm telling them that if the guy hasn't showed up by the end of this, then we'll just have to call it there. So, but I'm gonna give them a chance. I'm gonna give this guy a little more of a chance to show up. I feel like that's fair. I feel like that will hopefully result in better viewing experience for all of us. So, but gonna go ahead and get the draft started. No, stop making noise. Stop. Okay, just about ready here. I'm glad your viewing experience got better. So, excellent. Welcome in, Super Jova. Oops. Oh. Okay, so the draft is underway. Let's switch over to that. All right, so NewbFail'Em, they have first pick, they have first band. Now this is Sky Temple, so this is a map where global presence does matter a lot. Would expect to see someone like Falstad, Brightwing, perhaps prioritize, and maybe even Dehaka. Dehaka, not Dehaka. I forgot how to speak there for a second. But of course, Leeming, Illidan, still very strong. But we do see Falstad banned out. Well, East Coast Feeders makes their pick. I do want to point out that in about a week of this new meta, it's still kind of the old meta. Yeah, I mean, Illidan, and Leeming, they did have some nerfs, but they do both still seem to be extremely strong, and still do seem to be on top. Not only them, but Thrall as well. Seen a lot more Lily, strangely enough, since the buffs, but I've never really seen it pay off all that much. But Li Ming is going to be banned out by East Coast Feeders. Well, I hope Farmstrong does go ham. Although, which team is he on? Oh, you know what? It looks like everyone has showed up, by the way, for NewbFail'Em. So I believe we are going to have a match. And Kael'thas is picked up by NewbFail'Em. Interesting. Yeah, so I mean, as far as like changes to the meta, it does seem like the top tier heroes, despite the nerfs, they don't really seem to have changed at all. But we have seen a rise in a KT for sure. KT, Lily, some others, Tyrande. But it is going to be Muradin for East Coast Feeders. And let's see who else they decide to pick up. Illidan is still on the table. You know, in addition to being strong, this is a map that can really take advantage of his global presence, so... Plus, Muradin is one of the best counters to Illidan, and Muradin's already been picked up, but it's going to be Zagara. Welcome back, Zagara. I have not seen too much of you recently. For whatever reason, Zagara does not seem to be as heavily prioritized as certainly she used to be. But I've actually seen some drafts where she goes all the way through without being banned or picked. But this is definitely a strong map for her. I don't know if it's her strongest map, but I mean, that'd probably be Tomb of the Spider Queen, but it's still definitely a strong map for her. I don't know if I would prioritize her over someone like Illidan. But, ooh, and it's going to be Dahaka for NewbFail'Em. Very interesting. It looks like his background art seems to be a little inconsistent with the others, but I don't know. But no, it's a very strong map for him, I think. We actually saw a lot of him over the weekend in the DreamHack qualifiers. Just really, I think what we ended up seeing was a lot of the increased range and duration of the drag. So really, you could just stun someone and get them out of position for such a long time. His ability to pick people off is just really, really strong. And in addition to that, I mean, it kind of works like Falstad, where he can soak a lane and then immediately join the fight, or after the fight go soak a lane. But Tessadar is also picked up for NewbFail'Em, so that's something that can really enhance Dahaka. Tessadar can put the shields on him, and then he can be a little more aggressive and going to get a good drag. But Zeratul is banned out by East Coast feeders. I'm not sure they would go Zeratul. NewbFail'Em, they probably need another tank. Dahaka, not the greatest solo tank, and they probably need another support. But Uther is going to be banned out for NewbFail'Em. I think that I was gonna say that makes sense because they could go ETC for their warrior, but they already have Muradin, so. But they did choose to ban out Uther. Interesting. Wonder what they're thinking. I'm not doubting it anyway with what they're thinking, but I just don't get the train of thought. I mean, Uther does have a couple ways of cleansing a particular target. In addition to cleanse, he can also give Divine Shield, which could really throw a wrench into what Dahaka's trying to do. But it's going to be Morales and Diablo. So they are going 2 tanks. So Morales is going to have plenty of frontline support. If anyone's able to dive her, those tanks not doing their job. But it's going to be Murky and Abathur. This is the dream. They have Murky, the Abathur hat, and Tassadar. So Murky can go complete ham. He has the Abathur hat on him to just do tons of damage. He has the protection from Tassadar's shields. And if you do manage to kill him, so what? It's Murky. But we saw Cloud9 run that at a BlizzCon against, what was that, Team DK? But very interesting. I don't know. Very, very interesting drafts. I'm really excited for the Murky pick. I am excited for the Murky Abathur, so I hope NewbFail'Em clutches it out. Oh, but it's going to be Rainer. I'm gonna cheat real quick, but it's gonna be Rainer, the last pick for East Coast Feeder. So they're gonna have that Morales Rainer duo. So really a lot of auto attacking on their side, and then a lot of tanking. Not much in terms of burst, but interesting. Gotta drink my coffee. Gotta stay awake for these. For anyone who's joining us recently, we had some major thunderstorms last night. Tons of rain, tons of lightning, and didn't result in the best night of sleep for me. That ended up being tax day today, so that's plenty of reason to not be fully rested. Plenty of reason to need some coffee at 7:30 at night. So, or sorry, 8:30 at night. Even worse. But we are going to get underway here shortly. Glad this match is going to end up happening. That would have been a real shame if it had not. just waiting on one more person to ready up. There we go. Alright, we're going right into this. Alright, so the Captain Droplets is going to be on Murky, the baby Murloc. A Ruby Z, A Rubies, it's going to be on Abathur. Astrobroth on Dahaka. Clipper is on Tassadar, and Burst on Kael'thas. Kael'thas, who is a Burst character, so that is certainly fitting. But we're going to have the Captain Rue on Lieutenant Morales, Miss Sorsky on Zagara, Tihi Tyler on Muradin, Horagalis on Raynor, and I was trying to figure out how to pronounce this one. Yakatiyak? I'm going Yakatiyak 22 on Diablo. I think during the match I'm just going to refer to him as Diablo. So, but this should be good. I'm really looking forward to this. A lot of really good players on both teams. Awful lot of rank 1s in both Hero and Team League. All across both teams. Yeah, will we see Q build Abathur? We'll see. Gonna be very, very interested to see what builds they all go with. But I guess Abathur. When I was saying the team needed another tank, another support, Abathur is the other support, Murky is the other tank. So. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I would prepare for your ceaseless battle. If you wish to live, that is.
Alright, so let's look at the talents here real quick. Murky maybe okay, Murky's going block. No talent yet from Abathur. Maybe trying to conceal some information there.
The temple opens in 10 seconds.
Abathur maybe channeling his inner Iacona and wait until the very last minute to pick something. But it's looking like it's going to be the D build from KT. No one really contesting the Watchtower. Looking like Zagara content to just set up some creep. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this creep right here. It's not really providing much useful vision. If someone's trying to gank her, they're not going to come around this way. So, not sure that's providing a lot of vision, but it's going to be Zagara and Murky down in the bottom lane. As the rest of the teams are probably going to scuffle between mid and top, but Raynor thinking he's going to want to come down here and harass Murkathur. But not going to go down just yet. I believe we do have Dahaka and Muradin up in the top lane. Dahaka just collecting a lot of essence. And Burst on KT, just providing a little harassment in the middle lane. I wouldn't expect NewbFail'Em to engage too hard. It takes Abathur some time to get going. Abathur is definitely a mid to late game character. Early on, not too much he can do to aid in the team fights. So I think NewbFail'Em, I think they will be happy to just give up this middle temple here. Just take top. But it looks like they might be in some trouble because Zagara is deciding to, rather than soak the bottom, she's choosing to come up. So this is going to be a 4-on-3 in the middle temple. But Murky's going to fall, but that's okay. Ooh, and just a narrow miss on Burst with KT. And he is just barely going to live. But Looks like all the temple shots are going to go over to both teams just going to completely trade at the temples. No hard invasions going on. But Bursting Clipper is just doing a good job of poking in the middle lane. Teslar's got to be a little bit trouble. I don't believe he gets. I think Kala's Embrace comes at, or no, Leeching Plasma. No, but it's a level 4 talent, so never mind. I was gonna say it didn't really have much in terms of ability to recover the life he had lost, but assuming he gets on a shield on himself and goes and auto attacks some creeps, he should be just fine. But we just see the Siege Giants being picked up by NewbFail'Em. If they're able to use these Giants to get some pressure on the bottom lane here, this next temple is going to spawn here. So if they can do some damage here and even get the well, it's going to really help their ability to win this temple fight. But it's looking like that giant is still almost at full health, but probably not going to get the tower. Yeah, there goes the giant. But we do now see these siege giants being picked up by the red team. But here comes the next temple. Now, unfortunately, these siege giants are going to be pushing. Murky goes down, but that's okay. His life is meaningless. Well, it only has 1/4 of the meaning, but look at that. I guess it's fine. They have a second tank. They have Diablo, so yeah, he's kind of staying up there, trying to. But as I start to say that, Zagara falls down. Diablo in a lot of trouble too, and he is going to fall. But so far, it's looking like this bottom temple is going to go over completely to the red team. Murden deciding not to come down, which I guess is fine. They have a second tank. They have Diablo, so yeah, he's kind of staying up there, trying to. But as I start to say that, Zagara falls down. Diablo in a lot of trouble too, and he is going to fall. Rainer might die as well. Yeah, and he does. So far that is a 3 for a 1/4. So yeah, this is already bad news for the red team. The blue team has more of a mid to late game comp, and they already seem to be winning pretty hard on some of these team fights. So they are about to pick up level 10, whereas red team's still about half a level away.
My temple's power has been expended.
So easily level 10 picked up. Why was a bit of a break in the action? Why don't we actually look at Abathur's talents here? So it looks like he's going, yeah, mostly a nest build, but he's going to Ultimate Evolution. So he was going to. Who would he clone? Probably KT would be my guess. But Murky's egg is down, so he's gonna have to get out of there. Or at least be careful. Got another few seconds until he can lay another egg. But this bottom fort is going to go down. But Devouring Maw goes down on KT. Thought it went down on Dihaka too, but he was just in his burrow. But KT is going to fall. And Diablo's in some trouble as well. He might go down. He does. Tesla in some trouble. I think he's gonna fall. I think Murdered. Yes. Teehee Tyler able to secure the kill. So I believe that is a 2-for-2 trade. But unfortunately, I think this fort is probably still gonna fall. I would expect Murky to just come over and throw a pufferfish at it or do something. Do something incredibly bold. Yeah, the bottom fort is going to fall. But it's Middlegate getting pushed in a little bit.
The light of the sun grows.
But we do see 2 more temples coming up.
Soon they shall pass.
There's like a big invasion going on by NewbFail'Em. They're invading this siege camp. Zagara is going to fall, and Diablo may be in some trouble. No, he's gonna get away. Thought maybe a force wall might come down, but no, he's gonna get out of there. Morales is going to keep him alive. But even though no one is really winning this team fight right here, NewbFail'Em, they're kind of stalling them, while Dahaka basically claims already half of this bottom temple. So if they're keeping them busy in a fight over here, they're certainly not harassing him there. They're not claiming the other temple. So smart play by them. But his bottom fort is going to fall. Like maybe a bit of a fight coming up here. Raynor is going to go down. Tassadar in a bit of trouble. Murky in some trouble, but it's Murky. That's not really a big deal. But Dahaka burrows up from the bottom, gets the drag on Murden, but he's just going to Dwarf Toss out of there. But a force wall goes down to stop Diablo from getting away. But a good disengage by Zagara. The Devouring Maw goes down on Clippers on Tassadar, but it is not going to save Diablo. But he'll be right back into the action. Maybe a bit of an overextension here on the side of NewbFail'Em. It was looking like Astrobroth may fall, but I guess he had enough essence that he's able to recover enough life. And Clippers on Tassadar. Tassadar is such a squirrely hero. He was able to get out of there without dying, even though his life was very low. And meanwhile, Droplets down here on Murky, doing what Murkies do, and split push, and just be gigantic pain. But while he's down there, Murden is once again getting dragged, but Murden not the ideal target for that. He does have so much life. He does have an escape that he can use afterwards, but yeah, sometimes if that's the only target that's available, you just gotta settle for it. And you can at least force him to use some of his cooldowns. You can force him to use the Dwarf Toss, and he doesn't have that available. But this time it's Diablo who gets dragged. Diablo, a much better target, much less tools in terms of disengaging, but the Abathur clone is going to fall. As predicted, Abathur is cloning KT. Basically giving them a second burst assassin. But both teams looking like they're going to back off, but oh, the gravity laugh just misses Raynor. And Raynor is able to hearth back and get all filled up. But Murden is going to sit here and make sure that their bruiser camp doesn't get invaded. Burst with some really aggressive positioning on KT. Really putting the fear that they're going to take the bruiser camp in them. And I think Zagara and Murden, they realize, you know what, if we don't take this right now, it's probably going to get stolen from us. But Morales is going to fall. The Octorab goes down on Raynor. He falls as well. So 3 are down so far. This is not looking good. This is not looking good. NewbFail'Em definitely running away with this. They already have a 3-level lead, and 2 temples are about to come up. And they're almost certainly going to control the majority of the shots from both these temples. We also have a giant lead in terms of structures, and by the way, the boss is going to be picked up as well, so... But Abathur is going to come over, and he's decided, you know what, I'm going to come help with the fight for once. I'm going to come over and just slap that boss silly, and I'm going to help capture it. So, the boss is being taken by NewbFail'Em. And unfortunately, this means that everyone on the red team, they're going to have to come deal with the boss. But the drag goes down on Diablo. The Octograb goes down on poor Lieutenant Morales. But Diablo is going to fall. Tassadar with an aggressive dimensional warp. I think trying to fly up to her and get the force wall off. Maybe it was on cooldown. But this could already be game. Because Zagara is about to fall. Morales is about to fall. 4 are down. The boss is pushing. This is already going to be GG. 13 minutes in. 14 minutes in. Raider is going to fall. And there it is. Good game is called out. And the core falls. Wow. That was... That was impressive. That was... And you know what? I credit it all to Murky Abathur. The Cloud9 inspired comp. Showing that, you know what, it's still very viable, but very impressive job by them. Yeah, I mean, honestly, not too surprising. That team was all rank 1s. The other team did have, I think, 2 or 3 rank 1s. But you know, 5 is greater than 3. So, but no, I mean, very interesting comp. I mean, very. It's kind of interesting to see that still works as well as it does. I mean, really haven't seen much Murky Abathur since, basically since Cloud9 did that too. I believe it was Team DK. So yeah, I mean, you wonder, like, maybe it was nerfed, maybe people figured something out that prevented it from working, but here it still seemed perfectly effective. Still seems like a really good comp. Lot of synergy there. It did seem very powerful, and big win by NewbFail'Em, so congratulations to them. So I'm going to have another match here in about an hour and a half. It will be at 8:30 Pacific. So I hope you guys join me for that. And until then, that's going to do it for me for right now. But we'll be back in about an hour and a half. So hope to see you guys then. Thanks.